It's David and Christine. Follow us on our lifelong dream to retire to the Caribbean, own a home, and live the tranquil lifestyle.
Join us on our adventure of buying land, selecting just the right builder, and following the process from clearing the land to completed villa.
Villa en Sueno. Welcome to Our Dominican Dream. I'm David.
And I'm Christine.
This is our continuing journey of our life in the Dominican Republic. We're a couple expats from Canada. We've retired here in
we've been here since September 24.
September 24. So we've been here for a full year. This is kind of a condensed version of the year that we've taken to build a home in the Dominican Republic. So we've taken a year's worth of video clippets and photos, and I've condensed them down, like I said, to a roughly 10-minute video. And this is just for people that are new to the channel, so they don't have to go back and watch hours and hours of footage. I think we've released 63 videos. I never thought we'd release that many videos, because this was not something that we've said in previous shows that something we thought we would do. It was only supposed to be for family and friends. But we now have 1,000 subscribers. Woo-hoo. Yeah, a lot of the people from the United States, Canada, and a lot from the Dominican Republic. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a condensed version, like I said again, of the build, and then we have continued journeys to fall back on moving forward.
So I would like to say that we're both very happy with our decision to move to Dominican Republic. There are some good things and some bad. We'll probably do another video on that, not on this one. Maybe do more of a sit down again. We haven't done that in a while. Things we've learned, things new people coming here need to learn about living here. Mainly, and I'm not going to get into it right now, is like weather, and there's a lot of pests. Mainly
yes.
Bugs. So we've taken some photos, and we'll probably do some more of that, because if you don't like the weather or bugs, this may not be for you. But we've gotten used to it. We're fine.
And again, I'll apologize if you're not happy with the video quality. I shoot everything on my Android phone. I have a little app that I do my editing. I try to make it as funny as possible and as entertaining as possible. And it takes me quite a bit of time, because I have not the greatest eyesight anymore at 56 years old. And so sometimes it's weeks before I get to these videos. Hopefully we're going to try to get them a little more often. We've had people that say that they can't wait for our next video, which is awesome. But we're trying our hardest. We will have new content coming out very soon. We've been gathering footage. And what are we going to do in the near future?
Well, you have recently purchased a motorcycle, which I think you posted that on the last video.
Yep.
I want to do some adventures for sure. Definitely go a little bit farther, go to some new beaches. My main goal in the new year, which has been my wish list, I guess, is it wish list or
to-do list?
To-do list.
Bucket list.
In Samana in the new year, they have whales. So that is definitely on my to-do list in the new year, January, February, somewhere around there. So I'm really looking forward to things like that. But we want to go to different places, and we're going to videotape that and show you what it's like. And so that's our next thing for sure.
So again, this is about roughly 10 minutes of a condensed version of our build in the Dominican. We built a home here, and hope you enjoy it, and hope to see you again in future videos. And we'll keep on posting the videos as long as we have stuff to do and stuff to show.
Right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for everyone for subscribing. And not that it's doing a whole lot for us, but we find this kind of fun to show other people, other Canadians, Americans, whoever's watching, what to expect when you come here. And there's definitely going to be probably a video soon, like I said, talking about kind of maybe the pros and cons again. We've done that before, but now living here a year, we have different pros and cons.
Without any further ado, have fun watching this video. Being that it's been 1 year since Christine and I have lived in the Dominican Republic, we thought we'd do a video that highlights the building process of our villa from beginning to end. And we also just wanted to thank everybody for 1,000 subscribers. First step we had to do was buy some land, which we did in Sosua of the north coast of the Dominican Republic. This arrow indicates the plot of land that we bought. That was 563 square meters in size. It slopes slightly from the top to the bottom, a little more than we anticipated it would be after the building process started, but we walked the land and we thought it was a beautiful piece of land. We picked this spot in the residential Pueblo Español gated community, which is just up La Mulata, which is a road that goes from downtown Sosua up into the mountain area. First thing we had to do was prepare the land, and our builder, Bushnell Construction, brought in tons of caliche. The material used for compacting the ground is called caliche, and it's a natural product here in the Dominican Republic that's used for fill pretty much everywhere. Some of it's rocky, some of it's sand-like, but when it's compacted with a giant roller, it becomes a great base to build the slab, which we have to put the building on. After the pad was leveled, then we had to bring in lots and lots of rebar and the rest of the building supplies. A crew was hired by our builder who specialized in bending the rebar. They worked away at this for a couple days and got all the foundation area all double secured with rebar. And we sped the video up here just to save a little bit of the time. But basically they do the main pad, all the upright columns, tie everything all together, and that's to prepare it for concrete to be poured. So in this stage of the concrete process, they actually used cement trucks and used a pump truck, and they pumped it in place. But you can also tell here from these videos that the amount of caliche that we had to bring in was enormous. We never anticipated that we'd have this high of a building from the rest of the mainland. This was probably one of the causes of our problems with our neighbors. They didn't like the fact that we built up our house so high and blocked their view. But it wasn't anticipated, and it wasn't something that we did on purpose. But that's the way it went, and that's what we had to do to utilize our property. Here you can see them pumping the concrete in with the pump truck into the forms and over the rebar. Here the guys are starting to lay the block for our walls, and it's finally nice to see that the house is coming together and they have some structure to the rooms that we've laid out. We went to see an architect and we took him the plans that we wanted to have the house look like, and he designed the house with our rooms and dimensions in mind. So the design is ours, and we were happy with what came out. After the walls are in place, they frame the roof and they use trees to support it while they pour the concrete on the roof. Next they put a finish on the outside called fragueche, and that's a rough finish. And after that they put on pañeta, which is the smooth finish. They built us a 2-car wide driveway and a grease pit at the front of the house, and we weren't there when they put down the tile floor, but the ceramic tile was placed when we weren't at the house to watch them do it. They also got the pool edges done, which is solid concrete, not block. You can see here the drop off, which is almost 12 feet at this point. We're going to show in later videos what we did to correct that problem. You can see here the guys have already started to clean up the concrete they poured around the pool and the bullnose tile in place. Next, here is the guy that does all the Coralina finishing that off. Then the boys put a mixture of Cemento Blanco and Coralina powder inside the pool so it doesn't have to be painted. It's troweled onto a nice smooth finish. We decided to put a set of stairs into our rooftop, which is going to make it into a rooftop terrace where we're going to build a gazebo. But the guys didn't know how to do one, so they figured it out. And the next thing we wanted to do was put a big wall in beside this side of the house so that we could utilize the property on this side. So they started by digging a big trench and poured a footing and started with the columns and laying block. You can see in this series of videos just the progression from the trench right up to a wall that we have that at the front side is probably about 7 feet tall, and at the back I think it's about 12 feet tall, used as a retaining wall to make our property so that it's more usable. In this shot here, you can see that the forms have come down on the stairs and the concrete's all done. We did have to hire a welder to come in and make us railings for the stairs. Up until this point, we were using 100% solar to power our house because we hadn't got permission yet and a location to run our power lines from the power authority. So this is the electrician who's hooking up the wires that run from the main meter to our house so that we finally had access to town power. One of the final major things that we needed to do to the property was do the retaining wall between ours and the neighbor's property to retain the caliche so that it wouldn't roll down onto their property. So what they started with was a form to make a foundation and put rebar in it. So these are the guys here that are just measuring that all up to get the rebar in order to start that process. The next process was to hire the carpenters to come in and make the forms for the upper portions of the wall. These guys worked fairly diligently and were able to get all these sheets of plywood upright on the first course. The lower half was going to be 10 feet high and the upper half was going to be 12 feet high. We had to pour the concrete in from the upper level of the home and let it slide down through the forms to the bottom half and allow it to go around the corner towards the shed and septic area. Had a little bit of a problem getting it to go around the corner, but the guys were able to get the rakes in there and pull it along. And I give these guys a lot of credit. The skill that they had going over this little rickety bridge in order to dump concrete down into the form was spectacular to watch. Quite hilarious at times too. By trying to fail it so many times, they all left a piece of life, but it's yours. I want to fly high, because anyone with me has all the right to dream away. This was what was revealed after the plywood was taken off on the first course. We had a delay because of problems with the neighbors, and it was 8 days before we were able to get the carpenters back to form up the next section. They continued on anyway, and they started working more on the wall that was on the right hand side of the septic and my shed area, and they had to build that up quite high as well, probably about 8 feet I think on the bottom half. Can do whatever I want if you will be just one more night. I'm asking your permission.